Check, 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 check. The AVP Manhattan Beach Open, the granddaddy of them all, the tournament that every player wants to win. A victory here, and your name lives forever on the pier. Smith, Stoklos, Karai, Steffes, May Trainer, Walsh Jennings, Ross. The fans are on their feet. It's time for the championship final. Who will be the next to cement their names in history here at the Manhattan Beach Open?
The semifinals on the women's side. Taryn, Kloth, Kristen, Nuss, Toni, Rodriguez, and Geena Urango ready to go head-to-head right here for the Manhattan Beach Open. Who will book their ticket to the finals? Let's meet all four of our contenders. Mark Sherman down on the sand.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear it for Big Toe, Toni Rodriguez. And her partner, how many state championships did you win at Los Al? Like 1, 2, 3, I don't know, who knows. Played at Los Alamitos High School, we're back in our roots right now. Went on to USC, played indoor, first ever scholarship player on the beach in college, ladies and gentlemen, and ready to get her name on the pier. Let me hear it for Geena Urango. And their partners who are already laughing for some reason. I really wanted to match y'all today, but we both got the slunks. It's looking good. It's looking good. Ladies and gentlemen, this first player out of Metairie, Louisiana, one of the best in the state from a very young age. She went to the beach, and it was like, wait, she's a little bit shorter. Is she going to be okay on the beach? It's an emphatic yes, ladies and gentlemen. One of the best, maybe the best defender in the world. Let me hear it for the Kristen Nuss. And her partner with that signature smile. I love watching you on the court. Every single play, no matter what happens, it's like, yes, that was fun. Are you having fun out there? You look like you're having fun. As much fun as she's having, don't let her trick you. She is trying to dominate the other team in the most fun way she can. Ladies and gentlemen, out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, she is Taryn Kloth.
Stadium court is packed. Cameron Irwin alongside Rich Lamborn as we are set. Geena Urango making a trip to Championship Sunday. This is a huge opportunity for this 8th seed of Toni Rodriguez and Geena Urango, Rich.
Yeah, I think these are the expectations this squad had when they got together, though. This is certainly what they're capable of. We know Gina's got some firepower from the service line. We know big toe Toni Rodriguez, solid up at the net, and they're going to need to bring everything they got against this #2 team in the world in Taryn, Kloth, and Kristen Nuss.
#2 team in the world and recent Olympians. From Paris 2024, this is a team that expected to be on the top of the podium. Unfortunately, that was not the case for these two. Caught up with them yesterday, but they said, we are so ready to be right here in Manhattan Beach. They want a different kind of medal here.
That is correct. Name on the pier, not a bad consolation prize, so to speak.
That's Kristen Nuss with the ace. You heard it, she's just 5'6", 26 years old, and out of Louisiana. Doing it for all the littles.
Yeah, she is quick.
They're starting on Geena Urango, the USC product. Goes with the high line, and it's bouncing just inside.
The line judge had it out, up ref had it in. Did catch some rope. Cam, you're pumped. You're standing up in the booth. You're ready to rock on Sunday.
I mean, there's nothing quite like the Manhattan Beach Open on a Sunday, is there?
Very true. Gorgeous weather we have, too, for this. A gorgeous teardrop right there from Toni Rodriguez.
It looks like maybe just trying to find a little bit of pressure on Taryn Kloth. During the Olympics, she was a little bit more the target. She's 6'5". However, her partner at 5'6" is a force in terms of her own side out. They're trying to back her up, and they find another.
Yeah, that was a little bit of an Achilles heel for Kloth and Nuss in the Olympic Games. You know, that service reception. A lot of people picking on Taryn kind of later in the tournament. Maybe Geena and Toni trying to take a page out of that book.
And one more. Not the way you want to start if you're Taryn Kloth from the side outside.
Well, similarly to what we saw in the men's semifinal that preceded this, no lead safe here on Stadium Court on a Sunday. It was a wild back and forth in our opener.
Quiet platform there, fixes, does Taryn Kloth, but it's dug up by Urango. High touch, but a better pull. Urango through the middle. Urango checks, and it's just wide. Already an extended rally to start off this first set.
Yeah, the leg shaker real early before our first side change, and Geena really making the line judges work on that far sideline. Just missing.
Geena going after it. Out of Los Alamitos High School. On to play at USC. Was the first scholarshiped NCAA beach volleyball athlete. Option play. No problem for Nuss. Recycled. Big block in front of her. And back down. Big toe finds one.
About the no-looky from Toni Rodriguez, just feasting. That was spectacular.
Only Kristen Nuss, one of the premier defenders in the world. Great in transition. But Toni Rodriguez cross-body. Urango back into the corner on one. And it's good. Dig and kill, Kristen Nuss.
She's getting so proficient at that, she's kind of looking to get it maybe renamed from the Ludwig to the Nuss.
Of course, Laura Ludwig, out of Germany, the Olympic gold medalist.
And world champion. I mean, there was kind of nothing that she and Kira Walkenhorst didn't win.
One of the absolute legends of the game. As Urango Doing a really nice job transitioning right now. She's picking up quite a few digs.
Yeah, she's touching a lot of balls. It's hard to kill against big Taryn and little Kristen, if that's how we want to refer to them, but a great little cut shot there to evade the big block.
Well, and to your point, they've even said it's a little bit like big sister, little sister dynamics between Taryn and Kristen. Spent a lot of time together, whether it's right here playing on the AVP or back at LSU. The team that went and had 50 wins alongside one another, 50-0 season, their last year together for the Tigers. Speaking of Tigers, there's another one on the other side of the net, Toni Rodriguez.
Three Tigers and a Trojan.
Sounds like a bad joke.
Yeah.
Push set to the pin. Kristen Nuss says, don't even try, that's my shot.
Yeah, and lest you think that was accidental, Kristen Nuss on this cut shot so well, she's absolutely trying to put that right on top of the tape. Taryn?
So what is it, 3 Tigers and a Trojan walk into shellback.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and only one of them walks out without needing a test.
Fakes the option there. Nice swing.
Away,
Geena Urango, I mentioned, making a championship Sunday. The last time she did it in a major tournament like this one, she walked away with the victory. That was back in 2022 alongside Julia Scholes in Atlanta. That's just out of the middle of the court. You want that one back on your side if you're Urango. Another dig. Quick check, they pulled the hands, but I don't know if there's anything you can do against that Nuss high line.
Yeah, she just sees the court so well. Those are kind of plays you want back if you're Geena, the one that was kind of right in your lap that you dig over the net. Giving Kloth and Nuss too many opportunities obviously is going to kind of wear on you a little bit as a team. Good news if you're Rodriguez and Urango, they're doing all kinds of great stuff from the service line, putting a lot of pressure on Kloth, defensively creating opportunities. They've got to stay aggressive and see if they can't convert at a little bit of a better level.
See if they can convert here. There's another one off the left hand of Rodriguez. Once more, it's Kristen Nuss. And this is a rematch. These two teams faced off earlier in Manhattan Beach. The win, the direction of Kloth and Nuss. That went 3 sets played. They pushed them.
Well, you can see the immense capability that Urango and Toni Rodriguez have as a squad. They've got a lot of excellent tools out there. You have to execute at the highest of levels, though, if you hope to take down one of the world's best.
Talk about execution. There's a quick block back from Taryn Kloth. What do you have to do to beat this team besides just execute? What are you executing on?
Well, yeah, it's just a conversion thing at this point for them because they're generating, I feel like, so many opportunities defensively. Can you convert it a little bit higher level? I mean, that's a phenomenal swing from Toni Rodriguez from well off the net. You know, your transition setting needs to be on point, and then your conversion rate needs to be at kind of 50% or better if you can. Because otherwise it starts to get frustrating, right? You feel like you're right there. We're digging balls, but they're not turning into points for us. What more do we have to do? So that frustration management element becomes important as well.
The miss serve from Rodriguez, and to your point, she's hitting .667. She's 2 of 3 at the early stages of this. Kloth has seen the majority of the attempts as well. She's 4 of 8. 0 errors. Taryn Kloth out of South Dakota. I think she's now claimed, though, as Louisiana.
I would think so.
Big block, a good cover, though. Attacks the middle, and Urango scoops. There's that opportunity. They must convert, and right now, they are.
Yeah, that's good, tenacious effort on the side of Rodriguez and Urango. Just staying in the play, getting the conversion. Great swing, kind of deep middle from Urango to finish it.
Geena Urango has been known for her service pressure. She's got this jumper. This one finds just the top of the tape. That's one of the hardest skills as a blocker.
Yeah, that's a tremendously athletic move. Toni Rodriguez doesn't quite come up with it. It was kind of awkward with the left arm, but yeah, just the wherewithal to touch that ball, turn and go, even get a hand on it. Phenomenal.
One to the tech. Delayed block, and it's good. Taryn Kloth. She was the blocking leader in Huntington Beach, and she might be the blocking leader right here in Manhattan Beach. This is your first women's semifinal. We have another semifinal already taking place with some names that you're definitely going to recognize. Chang, Hughes, Flint, and Scholes, your 2023 Manhattan Beach Open champions at the 3 seed. Betsy Flint and Julia Scholes facing off against the 2-time Olympian in Kelly Chang and the 1-time Olympian in Sarah Hughes on our outer court coverage. You can catch that all live, of course, on Bally Live right now. So you take a glimpse out to court number 1. First set going to Flint and Scholes, 21-17. Now into the second. Near side of your screen, Chang and Hughes. Played 4 matches yesterday to Chang and Hughes in the contenders. That's a lot of volleyball to be played.
Yeah, it's something that they certainly weren't expecting, that great showing from SEMIFINALs AVP. Abby Van Winkle taking them out in the winner's bracket early yesterday.
Had an incredible journey. Took down their first round and their second round, and then lost to SEMIFINALs and Abby Van Winkle, to your point, in 3 sets played. And they had to face off against the 6 seed, come up with a win over DeBerg and Harward in 3 sets again. And then it was Hildreth and Van Gunst. And then lastly, Cannon and Kraft to move on to the semifinals. Meanwhile, back out of the technical timeout, the Wilson Volleyball casting a shadow over Stadium Court. 3-point advantage and make it 2, or actually, 4. That ball, I thought there was a touch off the block.
No, that one just missed the inside hand, I think. Went long. I like kind of the aggressive approach from Geena. Just missed the mark on that one. Oh, don't forget. Yeah, don't forget. That's part of her repertoire.
I mean, it's one thing to hit a cut from the right with your right hand. It's a whole other ball game just off the heel of your hand. Left side for Geena Urango.
I wonder if that, the set was maybe a little bit inside, or she was just letting her right hand know that if it's going to hit it long, I'll just go to the left hand.
Again, patience on display defensively from Urango. And then Kristen Nuss. You gotta love it. They pull on her because she shoots so well, but then you just leave her with an open net.
Yeah, that's a great set from Taryn Kloth as well, but I love how calm Kristen Nuss is on the court. She kind of sets up in that middle position, ready to scurry either direction should she need to, but it's just a great starting position. Gets the dig and then comes in aggressively. Plenty of pop at 5'6".
Kristen Nuss, of course, leaving LSU as the winningest beach volleyball player in program history. She ended her career with 139 victories and make it actually NCAA beach history. Little reversal here. Taryn Kloth from the right. And Taryn Kloth has developed so nicely into a beach volleyball player. She was an indoor player for years, then switched over to the beach at LSU, where she said all she wanted to do was hit the ball. Now it's like, when does she hit it? Because she has such great shots.
Yeah, showing how important varying the depth of your shots is, because Geena was all over that line shot should it not have been directly in the corner.
Taryn's actually talked about it before too. She said it was almost embarrassing being out there because all I would do is just hit the ball, hit the ball, hit the ball, and I wasn't winning. And then next thing you know, started to develop those shots. And she has earned the right to become one of the best in the world as an attacker. There's a good look at another shot set back up though. The scramble. Urango is everywhere. Another pulling off the net. Rodriguez gets housed.
I mean, the number of phenomenal plays in that rally was astounding. Great defense from both sides. Like you said, Geena Urango everywhere. The only problem for them is that Kristen Nuss also everywhere. And then big Taryn at the net, shutting it down with the stuffing.
This is your Wilson Volleyball Play of the Day. To Rich's point, I don't even know what highlight to pick, but that one for sure ended it.
Put a stamp on it.
Taryn Kloth owning the net in set number 1.
Semi-final. All right, here we go. Set number 1, Betsy Quint, Julia Scholes against Kelly Chang, Sarah
So
Hughes.
16-12, time to take a timeout. Kloth and Nuss with the advantage here, but we've seen some great defense and discipline on the side of Urango and Rodriguez. They have to be able to convert points, but it is definitely time for some major adjustments on their side.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a major adjustment in the sense that they're doing a lot of good things to generate those opportunities. And, you know, it's not as if they're trying to not convert on those, right? It's just difficult, it turns out, against defense the likes of Taryn Kloth and Kristen Nuss. They have to stay aggressive. I think they're doing a good job of it. They have to keep that service pressure on if they can, which I think they're also doing a good job of. It just, you know, turns out sometimes your opponent's good as well.
That is very true. Hi, everyone. Again, I'm Cameron Irwin alongside Olympic gold medalist Rich Lamborn. These are the women's semifinals. We've got a good one on the outside courts, too. What's your bet on Julia and Betsy taking home back-to-back MBO titles?
Yeah, I mean, they've looked good all weekend, right? They look like they're in pretty good shape out there, taking the first set already from Chang and Hughes. So you like their chances. This team that's about ready to serve, though, might have something to say about it, Cam.
The winner of the 2 semifinals will face off, of course, this afternoon. You're not going to want to miss it on Ion. Another full sprint from Kristen Nuss. You better relish in that one. Toni Rodriguez straight to the sand.
That was adorable, too. Watch this. See if we get a look here. Kristen Nuss going to pump fake like she was going to go block. Just kidding.
Hey, you know what? I would not put anything past Kristen Nuss and her ability.
That is an excellent point.
She can just soft block. Just stand 2 feet from the net, throw those hands up.
Much like we saw from Tim Brewster yesterday. Just
Kristen Nuss earning 1 more. Nuss hitting .417. 5 kills on 12 attempts. As a team, they're hitting over 400. Good reach from Rodriguez. You got to keep a couple things in mind when you're going up against a block that is 6'5" and also well-disciplined like Kloth.
Yeah, and that is, you got to stay aggressive. You got to keep the ball high. You got to make sure there's plenty of energy in your approach so that you have all the possible options. Toni doing a nice job of it thus far.
Urango in the backcourt waiting, but it's Rodriguez pulling off the net. And there's that big block again. It just gets right in your face.
Yeah, it just makes you second guess yourself a little bit, and sometimes that split second indecision can cost you.
Taryn Kloth's numbers are already sky high. 2 blocks with 4 additional control blocks. I mean, she's getting a hand on it, but it is recycled back out. Miss serve there, 15-18. Rodriguez and Urango, time to make a move.
Good follow, that is just out of bounds wide, 19 of 15.
Moving back to the left side, Urango demolishes it into the angle.
Love that swing from Geena. Holding nothing back.
Urango with the full send here. Love the amount of pace, the power. And now with the switch. Taryn Kloth again. Passed into the middle. And you kind of have to go a little hats off to this setting right now of Nuss.
Yeah, that's a great set. I really like the pass from Taryn Kloth as well. Tough serve. Toni Rodriguez really driving that thing hard, flat.
Creating some issues. But nonetheless, Kloth and Nuss, 4-point lead and set point. Taryn Kloth gears up, but again, just unleashing is Geena Urango. Got to find a seam somewhere.
Yeah, that's the whip we know she has. Can she get it going from the end line here? They need a couple here.
Important to put your imprint on this first set. Relieve some of the pressure into number 2. Good ball from Kloth. And it's just so simple. Taking set 1. Taryn Kloth and Kristen Nuss look like they are ready to get themselves to the final. They're just one set away from being right back here on Stadium Court.
The AVP Manhattan Beach Open is brought to you by Wilson, the official ball of the AVP.
Yeah, baby, that is right. It is time. Ladies and gentlemen, I could not be happier to be right here, right now.
We're in Austin, Dallas, Texas, for San Diego. Get involved and have a reaction out here.
Like never before in 2024. Check this out. We're working all the way through the fall as we still have Chicago to go, another Heritage Series event, all leading up to the league. The AVP will have a new team format, and you can check out all these great AVP pros, or at least the top 8 on the men's side and the women's side at each one of these locations. You're going to want to see all these epic franchises coming your direction, as we've got standing room only. And I don't even know if there's standing room only even left on the pier. And speaking of which, take a look at this. Melissa Humana-Paredes and Brandy Wilkerson, newly minted silver medalists from Paris 2024. They won the first event of the year, which means, guess what? They already qualified into the league, but they aren't here. That means of these 4 semifinalists, one of them will get that automatic bid into the league, and also a newly plaque on the pier.
Yeah, this is a great showing for Toni Rodriguez, Geena Urango, as we kind of don't see their names on that list anywhere, but hanging no worse than 3rd in the Manhattan Beach Open. Fantastic for them, and they of course want to do a little bit better than that, see if they can't roll it into Chicago. I think I might need our producers to send me that promo for the league, because it gets me pumped up. I need to watch that before working out. Doesn't it?
I know, right? Here's a look out to the other women's semifinal. Flint Scholes taking set 1, 21-17. Chang and Hughes with a little bit of an advantage here. However, Flint Scholes tie things up. It's 14-all as second set gets underway on Stadium Court. Again, one of these 4 teams will become the MBO champ. and also a new member of the league. Urango working with the soft stuff. Push set with the open net. When you see that blocker pulling, where are you looking to go?
Yeah, it's interesting because instinctively you want to go right at the blocker, but I think that's oftentimes kind of the worst place you can go. Geena does a really nice job. Take a look at it here. Splitting the difference. Not going right at the body of Taryn Kloth, but just off her right side, and catches Kristen leaning that way as well for the kill.
Little snap on that one for Taryn Kloth. High contact point, propelling that ball down.
I guess that would be the asterisk. If you can absolutely bludgeon it right at the face of the retreating blocker, that's fine too. Yeah.
A few numbers for you after set one. 469, the efficiency, team efficiency for Kloth and Nuss. It's gonna be hard to take down a team that's hitting that well.
Yeah. I'm curious what their approach is here from the service standpoint for Urango and Rodriguez. They kind of drove a lot of balls flat at Taryn Kloth. I think those are the ones she handled best. Kind of the loopier deep serve that backs her up a little bit. She had a little bit more trouble with, throws her off her offensive rhythm a little bit. See if they try and sneak one or two of those in.
Speaking of offensive rhythm, that was perfectly in rhythm.
Yeah.
Check out this little tempo ball.
I don't know if I've ever seen her not in rhythm or comfortable on a volleyball court. Yeah.
Things that do not exist.
Monster block.
Oh, they're giving her a monster block for that little tip dunk.
Yeah, it was a little SWAT throwdown.
Taryn Kloth saying no good. And that might as well be an ace.
Yeah, it's so difficult from a receiving standpoint too, right? When you're facing the jump serve of Taryn Kloth, that's difficult in and of itself. But then Kristen Nuss going to work you around tactically. Those short sidelines, middles. You never know what's coming from the surgical mind of Kristen Nuss at the service line.
Kristen Nuss, one of the best defenders, not only because she's quick, but she reads the game better than anyone. That's a nice cut from Geena Urango.
It was beautiful out. Pretty wide of her shoulder. Have a look.
Clear vision with those blenders. They still go with that flat serve, to your point, Rich. Protecting the middle is Nuss. Looks for her favorite shot, the jumbo. Somewhere, Russell Brock is smiling.
Well, a lot to smile about here. 75% of this match representing the LSU Tigers.
I like the pokey dig there from Rodriguez. A little bit of variance between these two blocking systems. Taryn Kloth stays a bit more up at the net. Rodriguez pulling off just a hair more. She's come away with several digs, to her credit. Rodriguez has 4 to her own. Check out these numbers. Geena Urango, 16 digs, Nuss, 12.
She's digging a tremendous amount of balls, but Taryn and Kristen, of course, putting away a few more of those scoring opportunities.
Pass creating some issues, too tight. Urango has nowhere to go.
Yeah, this won't be reflected on any stat sheet, but what happened right there, Taryn Kloth threw up a toss that was less than ideal, managed to just keep that serve in and gets rewarded for it. That's such a critical thing to be able to do, recognize real time. Again.
Toss, such an important part of the serve.
Yeah, it is, but too often, you know, players, if the toss isn't there, they try and make something out of it when that's kind of probably less than possible. Taryn just doing a nice job taking a bad toss, making it into a good serve.
It's becoming serve and pass practice right now.
It really is, and that was a great, we talked about that hard flat flow serve. Geena driving that one from deep and getting it away from the body of Taryn Kloth, making her move a little bit, getting rewarded.
What separates the elite from the service line, the ability to use multiple weapons. That one into the top of the tape. Maybe just finding their rhythm from the service line, kind of important here in the second.
Well, yeah, they know that that's something that they're going to have to utilize if they hope to make any headway against this TKN team, right? So there's a little bit more risk involved from their side of the net. They've got to go after it a little bit. You have to kind of operate within a threshold that's not, you know, too error heavy.
Working the back set now. It's that one they finally got on the other side of the net. Taryn Kloth, Kristen Nuss come with an army of supporters. It was fun to watch not only the support they saw in Paris in 2024, but also even on their way home, a massive celebration. Everyone's so proud of them, and rightly so. TKN travels well. Except for when they were on their way to Paris. They had some issues getting on a plane.
Is that so?
Oh, yeah. I think it took them about 36 hours, maybe 3 or 4 different airports.
To Paris, yeah, that's usually an easy
Yeah, it was a little
skip
hard.
and a jump.
Well, when the internet breaks down.
Oh. That's when that was happening?
It was close. There were a lot of issues for those two. Ooh. They chronicled them on their Instagram. I think it was their coach, Drew Hamilton's real first international trip of his life. Oh. And imagine that. You can't even get out of the United States to get there. He's like, I think I'm good. I'm going to stay here in the U.S.
Yeah, maybe he was like the mush, you know, like the jinx.
Urango. Again, just cupping that ball, finding the cross court.
There's a nice conversion, another pickup from Geena. That hasn't been the issue. They've been touching balls, giving themselves opportunities all over the place. A little more of that right there, and we're going to have an interesting one.
Starts in system for Kloth. And again, just the high line, shot after shot. Are there any cues you can try and go against in terms of Taryn Kloth and her attack or her shot selection if you're the defender?
Yeah, I don't know that you're looking to freebie off the tape. That's a good question. You know, I think you want to set up your defense, and one of the critical pieces of a beach defense is you got to decide what you're going to give away. So if we're blocking line, you know, I don't think she's swinging line a lot. So if I'm Toni Rodriguez, can I delay and try and swat some of the high line and let Geena be relaxed in the angle? Or conversely, do I jump big and have Geena run for it and give up the cross court? You know what I mean? And then hopefully defenders as great as Geena and Kristen are picking up little cues maybe in a match that they can play off of. But first I would think of sort of the defensive setups and being disciplined within those setups.
The block and defense works hand in hand. Taking away areas of the court is definitely the job of the blocker, whether that's with timing or just the location of the block. As you look now to the outer court, again, Flint and Scholes, Chang and Hughes, they are now in third set action. I'm seeing a reoccurring theme.
Well, yeah, you expect these semifinal battles to be just that, a battle, right? And that's certainly already going on court number 1.
Of course, Flint and Scholes looking to go back-to-back with their MBO titles. The year before that was Alex in April. And then just prior, Sarah Hughes has her own Manhattan Beach title. Came alongside Kelly Kalinske, and probably one of the best third setters I've ever seen. It was a 5-point run to close it out. Here's a look. Sarah Hughes and Kelly Kalinske, that's the final I was talking about. They were down 10-13 in that third set. and ran 5 straight points to get the Manhattan Beach title.
They get a 4-0 run.
Kloth and Nuss on a bit of a run now.
And that's what makes Taryn and Kristen so tough, right? One of the many things that makes them tough is they just kind of go about their business. You feel like you have to press a little bit, and you can have little kind of hiccups in execution, as we're seeing that 4-point run that Geena and Toni just gave up, and then all of a sudden you're looking up, and that's not what you want to be doing against Taryn and Kristen.
Taryn and Kristen, one of the best defensive teams in the world. It's a nice shot there from Rodriguez, though, just off the edge of the block. Moving to the right side. And again, her favorite shot has to now be the high line.
Certainly would appear that way. She's really adding to her vision and so forth, too. She's such a terminal hitter that you have to respect that. You can see Geena kind of jumping into that hard cross-court swing. It just sets up all her shots from there.
Little pace, and I love the option, but it goes long. Kloth and Nuss creating even more separation. You've got to call a timeout here if you're Rodriguez and Urango. Change the momentum.
Yeah, we're seeing that in the kind of modern game get executed so frequently that you forget how difficult that is to take a spinny ball off the arms of Geena Urango on a jump serve from Taryn Kloth. That ball's revolving extremely fast backwards, and then Toni Rodriguez trying to wrap on top of that, put some topspin the other direction. Not an easy proposition.
A look now to the bracket. This is what they're playing for. The 2 semifinals currently taking place on the women's side. It's Kloth, Nuss, Rodriguez, Urango right now on Stadium Court. Chang Hughes, Flint, and Scholes. How fun is it to come into Championship Sunday? All the Olympians making this last and final day. We'll have the men's final, of course, on ION first, and then the women will be up next on ION Network. Right now, we still have to figure out who will be there. Flint and Scholes up 6-5 and now tied 6-all. On court number 1, this is the best part of Manhattan Beach. Just check out the stands just adjacent to this court 1. They're standing, what, 8 feet deep?
Yeah, it's not even really stands. I mean, it's literally people standing. I guess maybe that's what you meant. It's 8 people deep, probably deeper than that. You got people on the pier watching court 1 action. It is really old school vibe at its finest.
Back out, there's Nuss again. Another dig, but Urango goes with a 1-arm jab. Right through the wickets.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Another point, Taryn and Kristen. They just keep the train rolling.
Talked about how good this team is defensively. Kristen Nuss coming into today, 8.44 digs per set. Just to give context, the next highest on the list is only at 6.2, and that's Geena Urango.
And 6.2 is a big number.
That's a huge number.
Yeah.
Everybody else wasn't even close to hitting that 6-point mark. You can see these 2 top defenders right now going head-to-head.
Yeah, just, that's a tremendous read from Geena Urango on the first ball. And what does she get for her efforts? An over-on-1 from Kristen Nuss that she's got to chase all the way across the court. And that right there, great layout.
Kloth and Nuss, 4 points away from the Manhattan Beach final. They were not here in 2023 to play in this event. They're looking to take it all now.
That's one of those ones, though. Kind of, we were talking about her taking a bad toss and making a good serve out of it. As a coach, that's one of those errors that you can sort of abide. It's a good toss. She goes after it. You know, we're human beings after all. Sometimes we miss.
Winners advancing to our championship match. Find that window, 12-2 Pacific on ION. Urango. She only has one speed when she's going up right now, and that is swing and swing harder.
I like it. You got a little bit of a scud to the corner there. I think that was a Tim Wakefield knuckleball. Have a look. Is there any spin on that? I don't think so.
That's like a little backspin on it. Trying to attack the shorter angle in front of Taryn Kloth.
That was the serve that yielded them the previous point. Just missing this time.
It's always great to see Toni Rodriguez on the volleyball court. She's dealt with numerous injuries in her career. That's called for a double contact.
Make it 19.
Suffering several ACL injuries. And she has fought and battled her way back out onto the AVP sand. Her recovery, her rehab. So good. She actually had a phenomenal tournament last year here in Manhattan Beach, playing alongside Savvy Simo. Her actual best finish came with Savvy in Denver, the Contender Series event. Kloth continuing to get the majority of the side out. They are not switching. Kloth and Nuss have found themselves at a match point to move on to the Manhattan Beach final.
When Taryn's passing the ball even moderately well, they are next to impossible to stop.
She's not working in the sky ball.
No.
Absolutely not. Sent to the exterior, and Urango showing a range. Heavy line. So they fend one off with this great swing. Little gut check here. Match point remains. Taryn Kloth attacks the pulling block and finds match point.
For the championship match here in Manhattan.
There it is, Cam. Just a relentless performance from TKN. I thought Geena and Toni played a fantastic match, but there are just no weaknesses really to be found in the game. Taryn Kloth, Kristen Nuss.
Taryn Kloth and Kristen Nuss. Look at this embrace right there. Kloth and Rodriguez, of course, former teammates, great friends, and foes for about the last 35 minutes.
For Geena and Toni into the final.
An updated bracket for you as the #1 seed, Kloth and Nuss, are moving on to the championship. Who will it be? 2 or 3? Chang and Hughes, Flit and Scholes still battling on our Court 1 coverage on Valley Live. Check it out. 12-10. Flit and Scholes on the near side make it 12-11. This is as close as it gets.
Lucky I did my manicure because I might not have any fingernails left after this one.
Oh, wow. Wow. I love it. Well, thanks so much for joining us here on Valley Live. We've got more coming to you. The championships on ION.